Alright, hey guys, Only Gamer here. So, real quick, I just want to say Happy New Year, everyone. I know it's a bit late, we're already on like the 5th of January, but I still wanted to say, it's my first video of the new year. So, 2020 was the worst year ever. I don't think anyone can debate that. 2020 was the fucking worst year ever for numerous different reasons. But despite how bad 2020 was, there was a few decent games released last year in 2020. And as you can see in front of you, these were all the games that I got last year that were released in 2020. I obviously bought more games last year, but these are all the ones that were actually released in 2020. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk about a few retro games that I bought last year that I played quite a lot of in 2020. But for now, I'm going to talk to you about all the games that I got that were released last year, and and basically show you some of my favourites. Alright, so the first game I'm going to talk about is Doom Eternal. This was released near the beginning of the year, in March, right as, we were starting to go into the first lockdown and when the whole COVID thing really started to take effect. But this was supposed to originally come out at the end of 2019, if you guys remember. It was supposed to come out November 22nd of 2019, but ended up getting delayed till March 20th. I didn't get the game right when it came out. I got it for my birthday, which was in October. Yeah, this is the sequel to Doom 2016, and just like Doom 2016, it takes the classic, fast-paced, old-school gameplay of the original 90s Doom games, and modernizes it a bit, but still, it stays true to its roots. And and yeah, it's just an absolutely fantastic game. Show the inside, disc and manual right there. It's just a throwback to that old school, style of first-person shooters, and yeah, it's just a phenomenal game, honestly. All the Doom games are phenomenal. I've been playing a lot of them recently, especially the old school Doom 1 and 2. I've been playing a lot of those two games recently on my PS4. But if you like Doom 2016, trust me, you're gonna love Doom Eternal. And if you like old school first-person shooters in general, you're definitely going to like this game. And speaking of old school first person shooters, that kind of ties in with the next game here, Ion Fury. Now technically this is a 2019 game because this was first released for Steam in 2019, but the console version didn't come out until 2020. And obviously I'm a console gamer. Well, in case you didn't know, I'm a console gamer, and obviously 2020 was when I first played the game. But this is a very interesting game. It was developed by Void Point, a pretty unknown developer. But basically, Ion Fury is kind of a unique game because the game itself was built on a over 20-year-old game engine. This game was built using the Build engine, which was the same game engine used to power several old school first-person shooters from the 90s, mainly Duke Nukem 3D. Shadow Warrior, Blood, and a few others. And this was a brand new game built on that engine. It has the look of a 90s first-person shooter. It plays like a 90s first-person shooter, and it's like a kind of like a spiritual successor to Duke Nukem in a way. I mean, obviously, I know this game was a sequel to Bombshell, which was sort of like a twin stick sort of game. But Ion Fury is completely different to Bombshell. But just like Doom Eternal, if you love 90s first person shooters, you're going to absolutely love this game, trust me. Alright, next game, Streets Rage 4. Now this was a game that was kind of in development hell for a really long time. Of course, the Streets of Rage series was a beat 'em up series that debuted on the Sega Mega Drive. There were 3 entries on the Mega Drive or Sega Genesis, depending on where you live, and Sega tried to make a 4th Streets of Rage. They tried to do a 3D one on the Sega Saturn, and that was cancelled. They tried to do it again in 3D on the Dreamcast. That was cancelled. There was going to be one for the original Xbox. That was cancelled. There was going to be an online Streets of Rage for the 360. That was cancelled as well. But finally, after years and years of a new Streets of Rage game being in development and just constantly getting cancelled, Streets of Rage 4 finally came out last year in 2020, which is kind of surreal actually, because because this is a game that for the longest time, I thought it was never going to happen. Like I always wanted, another Streets of Rage, and a lot of people and a lot of other people really wanted another Streets of Rage. But for the longest time, it was almost like it was never going to happen. And then it eventually happened, and not only that, but ended up being one of the best games of the year, and one of the best beat 'em ups made in a really long time. Yeah, if you love the Streets of Rage games on the Sega Mega Drive, Streets of Rage 4 is just as good as those games. I mean, obviously the graphics are, a huge improvement to anything that the Mega Drive could ever do. But yeah, but it plays like a Streets of Rage game, and I'm glad that it exists. Hopefully we'll get more Streets of Rage games in the future. Maybe a Streets of Rage 5, maybe Streets of Rage 6, or who knows. Next, this game definitely wins Game of the Year for me, and that's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. If you've watched my videos for a while, you should know that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is my all-time favourite game franchise. I absolutely love the games. My favourite game in the series is Pro Skater 3, but this game right here, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, this was obviously a built from the ground up remake of the first two Tony Hawk games, and it was such a phenomenal remake. I mean, the last one, Pro Skater HD, was, such a disappointment, and this game is really what Pro Skater HD should have been, instead of whatever the hell we got back in 2012. But yeah, this was made by Vicarious Visions, the guys who made the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, and yeah, and this remake, they just knocked out of the park, honestly. I mean, not only was it, a breath of fresh air to finally see a new Tony Hawk game that was actually good, after the last one nearly killed the franchise, Pro Skater 5. But yeah, in my opinion, this was the first good Tony Hawk game post Neversoft. I mean, I haven't really played much of the really crappy ones, thank God, but from what I've played, the last good Tony Hawk game ever made before this one was a Proving Ground, and that was obviously the last Neversoft Tony Hawk game. But yeah, but this was the first good one since Proving Ground, and not only was it a good one, it was a fucking amazing one. So if you're wondering what my game of the year would be for 2020, it would definitely be Pro Skater 1 and 2, like hands down. I can't recommend that game enough. Alright, this is the only Switch game that I bought last year. Yeah, I only bought one Switch game last year. Well, I didn't actually buy it, it was gifted to me for my birthday. And that's Super Mario 3D All-Stars. There isn't really a whole lot I need to say about this game. Obviously, Nintendo are going to delist it at the end of March, and they're going to stop making physical copies. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys all know what this is. It's a compilation that features Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Meant to celebrate Mario's 35th anniversary. There's a cartridge right there. I like this bit of all like the screenshots and stuff in the background. But yeah. And these games I actually never played until I got 3D All-Stars. I played 64 DS, but that's obviously kind of sort of a different thing from the original Super Mario 64. But so yeah, I played a bit of Super Mario 64. Didn't really get too far into it. Really want to play it again. Super Mario Sunshine I actually really enjoyed. I want to play that some more as well. And Galaxy, I'm going to be honest, I haven't tried Galaxy yet, but I heard that one was really good. But if you want this game, yeah, you better hurry up, because it's not going to be available for a very short amount of time. And after the end of March, that's it, you can't even download it anymore. Alright, this game I'm actually still currently playing at the moment, and that's Watchdogs Legion. I just got this for Christmas, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I love the first two Watch Dogs games, especially the first one. I think the first one's kind of underrated. I know people tend to bash on the first game, mainly because it was a lot of people thought it was a huge letdown, especially in the graphics department, because when they first showed it off, the original Watch Dogs, had these amazing graphics that was meant to showcase what the then at the time next gen consoles were capable of. And then when it came out, the graphics were a huge downgrade from what they originally showed off. But so yeah, but this is the third game, Watch Dogs Legion. Obviously, this game, the big new addition to this game is the fact that you can play as any NPC. You can recruit them and stuff, and yeah, any character you see walking down the street or anything, any character can be playable in this game, which is kind of a neat idea actually. And yeah, I haven't really got a whole lot to say about this game because I'm still currently playing for it, but from what I played, it's really good. Next up, Spider-Man Miles Morales. This was one of the big launch games for the PS5, but this is the PS4 version. Yeah, this game I only played for about 5 minutes, and then it crashed on me. Like literally, I only played the game for like 5 minutes, and it fucking crashed. I installed an update for it. I think it was like version 1.09 or something. I haven't tried the game since, mainly because I've been playing a bit of Watchdogs. So I need to pop this game in again and play it some more. This is a sequel to the 2018 Spider-Man game. No manual, unfortunately, but yeah, only played it for a tiny bit. Need to play it some more, but I heard it's really good. Alright, and the last game here is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. This was it was a really good game, but I was kind of disappointed with it, mainly because well, the campaign. For me personally, I play Call of Duty for the campaign. I know most people just play it for the multiplayer, but I'm one of the few people who typically buys COD for the campaign. I do try some of the multiplayer, mainly like team deathmatch and stuff, and I also play a bit of zombies. Zombies are quite fun, but for me, it's always been about the campaign when it comes to Call of Duty. And this one, well, I had a really good campaign, and I really enjoyed it. The problem is it was too short. I mean, I beat the game within like a week. It didn't take me a week to beat it. Basically, I was playing the campaign for about 2 or so days after release, and then I took a short break from it, mainly because I was doing I had like college and stuff at the time. And then I came back to it about a week after release, and I beat the game. So technically it took me a week to beat it, but really it was only about like 2 or 3 days. But it's a shame because the campaign was so good, yet it was so short. But I'd still recommend it, but that's just one thing that you need to know coming into this game, is that the campaign is really short. It's good, but it's just short. You wish there was more of it. But the game itself is really good. So those were all the games that I played this year in 2020 that were released in 2020. If I had to name just 5 of these as my favourites, it would be Doom Eternal, Streets of Rage 4, Black Ops Cold War, Watchdogs Legion, although I'm still currently playing through that, and Pro Skater 1 and 2, which, like I said before, is my game of the year for 2020. Alright, so now I'm going to tell you briefly about some of the retro games that I played in 2020. So these are just a few retro games that I bought last year, some older than others, and these are the ones that I enjoyed the most last year. The first game I want to mention is Rising Zan, the Samurai Gunman for the original PlayStation. I did an entire video on this, an underrated games video, and basically this game is kind of a precursor to Devil May Cry. It's a really over-the-top Japanese game, but it's a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I got the PS4 version for my birthday, and this was a lot of fun as well. I beat the campaign for this in December. The campaign's much longer in this than in Black Ops Cold War, but it still felt kind of short though. Another COD game I also beat in 2020 was Infinite Warfare. I bought this at the very start of the year in February, and yeah, I beat the campaign for this as well. This one I actually really enjoyed. This one I like the campaign more than Advanced Warfare. I especially like the fact that you can choose your loadouts and stuff before each mission, and the guns were just so cool. Although the only part I didn't like was the spaceship missions. I wasn't really a big fan of those. But yeah, honestly, Infinite Warfare was actually surprisingly good. It's not as bad as people make out to be. Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. This is basically Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but with Disney characters and stuff. Yeah, I brought this in February as well. Yeah, this is a really good game, and that's obviously because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a really good game. And this was a game that I brought right at the start of the year, in January, Apocalypse for the original PlayStation. Now, some of you guys may know, this was the game that Neversoft developed before working on the first Pro Skater, and in fact, Pro Skater 1 and 2, as well as the Spider-Man game Neversoft developed, ran on the Apocalypse game engine. So basically, without this game, we may not have ever had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. But this game in itself is really, really awesome. It's basically like an early twin-stick shooter game for the PS1, and the soundtrack's amazing. And it's a Neversoft game. Pretty much everything they make is a masterpiece. So that's not everything I brought in 2020, but that's just 5 highlights of some retro games that I enjoyed the most last year. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what were your favourite games that you played in 2020, whether new or retro. What was your game of the year for 2020? And also, what games are you looking forward to this year in 2021? For me, the 2 games I'm looking forward to the most is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga and Far Cry 6. Those are the games I'm looking forward to the most coming out this year. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and peace.